And this was the first book that I was really I started having kids in mind a little more. It was also a successful enough book that I began to do school visits and signings and things like that. I began to learn how the schools worked with the publishers, and the publishers worked with the bookstores, and the bookstores worked with the teachers. And I started to get an idea of literacy. Because at first, when I started out, it was just I liked doing pictures, you know. It's based on a book I made when I was a little kid. It was 8 pages long. I just drew a bunch of pictures of me doing stuff I wasn't supposed to do. And the only words in the whole book were no and David, because that's all I knew how to spell. And my mom saved it, and then she showed it to me about 20 years ago. And I thought, you know, this might make a good children's book. So I added a few more words, and I drew new pictures. And now my mom's suing me for royalties. And then when I started doing these children's books, I realized I was drawing knights and pirates and baseball players and all the things I drew as a little kid. Until finally I was like redoing. I was trying to draw like I was a little kid, because when I first started to redo No David, I drew it fairly realistically, like A Bad Case of Stripes, and it lost all of its character. It just sat there. And I went, well, what was it about that original that, you know, that I responded to? So I went back and I tried to draw like a 5-year-old. And anytime I got stuck on anything with this, I went back to the original. So that's where the pointy teeth comes from. Here's another one. I always get this 3-part question of, am I David? And the answer is sorta. Did I really do all of the things David did? The answer is I did some of them. Okay, I did a lot of them. And then the 3rd part of the question is the real nitty-gritty. This is what they want to know, is did I run down the street without my clothes on? The answer to that is that was my nephew. And he lived in Alaska. Yeah. So anyway, we kind of have this discussion of how when you write stuff, you can start out with a true life story, but you can add things. It's okay. It's not lying. It's writing.